I know I need a design system, but it's going to take 6 months and I don't have the bandwidth. I hear this consistently. And it used to be true, but you already have components designed in Figma. What's missing is the code. What if you could turn your Figma components into a working component library in days, not months? I'm going to show you exactly how. Hey, I'm Diane. I'm the co-founder of the Design Project, and we help over 50 B2B SaaS teams ship products faster with AI. Our customers have been acquired by Nvidia, Slack, and MrBeast. Today, I'm going to use a customer's design system as an example. What we're going to do, set up a component library with Storybook using React and Tailwind, connect Claude Code directly with Figma MCP, generate real components from Figma designs. Quick note, if this is the first time you're setting up your component library with the Figma MCP and GitHub, I suggest you reference an earlier video called Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Setup. I'll put it in the description. First up, where are we building these components? Storybook. It's an open source tool that lets you build and document components in isolation. Your devs can see every button, card, modal, all of the states without digging through the code base. It becomes your single source of truth for your components. Next up, React. Think of it like Figma components, but for code. In Figma, you build a button once and you can reuse the instance everywhere. React works the same way. You build the button once in code and you can reuse it across the entire product. Last, Tailwind. Think of it like design tokens baked into code. Instead of writing custom CSS for every element, Tailwind gives you pre-built utility classes. For example, background color, BG Blue 500, padding, P4, border radius, round large, exact same mapping to Figma. And the MVP tool that makes this all work fast is the Figma MCP. It allows Claude Code to connect directly to your Figma file. It can read your components, styles, spacing, everything. Now, let me show you an example. Okay, so here I am in my terminal. So first things first, I'm gonna start my Claude Code. Now, this is the first time I'm setting up this project. So what I'm going to say is I'm actually gonna give Claude Code guidance. This is how I work with Claude Code. For everyone that might know exactly what to say to start a project, I think that's fine, but I'm going to show you what I would do if I was a little confused and I was like, where do I start and how do I work within Claude? So I would write something like this. You're a startup CTO. I want to set up a storybook starting from a set of Figma components I created, and I want to do it using React plus Tailwind. No ShadCN, no additional complexity. How would you recommend I get started? So the reason why I'm referencing ShadCN is it's a great component library. A lot of AI uses it to get started. I think it's great, but if you already have your component library built not using ShadCN, sometimes I just reference it as a don't, which is just important as saying what to do. Okay, it's done. Let's see. Start with 3 to 4 key components. Match Figma naming. Okay. Want me to help you scaffold this out in your current repo? Yes. So what's really cool is it is going to build out the storybook using the storybook references and framework. Okay, so now it's setting up Storybook. Let me show you how Storybook functions while this is working. Okay, so here's an example of Storybook. Basically how it works is it is a place where you can document everything, like I said, right? An example of this is I can go into buttons and I can see exactly how the button is working. And I can also see how it functions here, directly here. So all the hover states. I can go directly into the styling. I can understand exactly how secondary buttons work. There's also, you see at the bottom, oh, it's not defined here. Some of them have it defined where you can actually see the actual code, which is great. So you can just copy the code. Here you can actually play with the set functionality that you've defined. So if your Figma components are really clean and the variables are set and everything functions well, you can see how it brings it into Storybook. So now I can say this is what a success badge looks like. This is what it looks like when it's soft. This is what a pill shape looks like. I can change the name here to play around and see how it functions, right? And then I can show the code right here. I can copy it. So it's really just a way to show every single state, and it's just a visual representation of it. And devs can come in and they can just pull everything. It's amazing and it's life-changing. And let's go actually see how things are going in the code. Okay, so it looks like the Storybook's ready. Now let's look at our component library in Figma. Okay, so here is a very simple component library that we're starting to build right now for a current customer. It has custom components, everything, but what I suggest when you're building out the Storybook is that you start small. You start with the atom, right? You start with the pieces that will be built upon as the components grow. So if you create a modal, then it'll have a button in it, but you should start with the basics first. So as an example, we can actually start with buttons, and you can see here that I have all my buttons defined here. And also you can see it's basically the fill. These are the things I've defined, enabled, leading icon, everything here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this link. Okay, so I had to reinstall my Figma MCP plugin. Sorry, that's what this information is. So I paused it for a second. I'm back now. So what we're going to do now is I am going to say, generate this as a React component with Tailwind and add it to Storybook. Here is the Figma link. So it sees the comprehensive button system, getting the details for all the styles and variants. So I'm doing a big chunk, like all of the buttons. You also could do it individually and make it perfect. It just kind of depends on how much you want to trust AI, how much you want to experiment, how much you want to document. I think the other thing I'll say while this is doing its thing is that you should really, what I haven't talked about here is defining the styles, tokens, and descriptions. There's a lot of information about how, as a designer, you can make sure your Figma files are set up so that the components have everything they need. Definitely a new big thing to do is make sure that they have descriptions in place so that whenever you're building a new screen and you're not using Figma, is you can say, hey, I want to use this button, and it'll know which button to reference because of the situation that's at hand. So there's a lot more in depth, and I'll make some more videos on thinking about the design systems and component libraries and how to make sure that what you're doing in Figma is the best way possible to export it. So let's go back to the code. What's really cool is it's basically running Storybook at this local host, and it's using Claude in Chrome, which is a Chrome extension, so that Claude Code can actually see the page and everything to check that it's working well. So it's doing this on its own as like a double check, which is really cool. I use Claude in Chrome often if I'm building something and I'm saying, reference this, it's not working, take a look, and it'll actually take a look and it can debug and understand what's not working, which is really cool. Okay, so let's go check it out. So here we have our very own Storybook first component built. Here is the button. You can see the hover states. It has all of the information. We can change it to dark, info, small. It has the variants here, colors, sizes, pulling directly from Figma. So this is just one. And now from here, we can build all of the components so that everything is referenced here following the Figma designs that we've created. If this is something that you are interested in exploring for your own company, your own project, we have space for 3 more design component library projects. So you can reach out to me. I'm putting my email address in the description. But let's talk about what we just did. We set up Storybook from scratch, turned Figma components into real React components and code, created a working component library that designers, PMs, and devs can continue to build on. If this idea is exciting, but you've been feeling overwhelmed by it, this is where you should start. Use Claude Code, use Storybook as a framework, start building out one component in your design system. I'm creating more content on building faster with AI. If this is something you're interested in, like and subscribe. I'll be putting out content weekly. Now go ship something.